Hi, happy Saturday Night
Hi.
Live. Yay. Hi, Tricia. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I can't
I'm
believe that we're already in May. But
I know. I mean, we're flying through it actually. And I just feel like we last time we talked, oh, it's a snowstorm or something like that. And now we're in May. It's crazy. It really is. But hey, I guess that's what the time we're in. And you're doing good?
yeah, I don't want to freak people. Well, people are probably going like, "Wait, I thought she moved. That was the office that she's in." But I took a picture of the my office before I left,
And made a
and was able to,
background.
yeah, use it as the background. And I was like, "I wonder if Ellen's going to notice." But I'll go ahead and just tell on myself.
Well, I noticed because there's some places you can tell when you move, like when you bend down, you completely disappear. Yeah,
Oh
there
yeah,
you go. Yeah, you're gone. Well,
can't
I
put anything past you.
well, I mean, that's but anyway, I'm so excited about I've been thinking about this all day because I had the privilege of interviewing Julie Donuts on my Truth Teller Tales, and we'll talk about that when she comes on too. But the fact that I threw out there at her, would you come on with us for an hour and just talk? And she was like, yes. I was like, yes. So, because she's just so fun. She knows so much information. Her heart is in it, and she's so true and real. And I'm just so jazzed that she's going to be able to spend time with us and talk to us. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her on, Trisha. Okay,
Yay!
Hey,
Julie.
ladies, how you doing?
Oh, so good.
Welcome.
Thank you,
So
thank you. If I ever feel bad, Ellen, I'm just going to come on your show.
That's,
but
that's what we try to do. That's what we're going
it's
for.
That's amazing. You guys are amazing. I love it.
well, the first thing I have to ask you, so I do the one other show that I do live is The View of Truth. As you know, Julie, that's a show because I couldn't stand The View on ABC. I think it was the worst and most
Oh,
divisive program. So I wanted to
wretched.
start a show called The View of Truth. And
Yes.
so I talked about you this past week, and they're like, you have to ask Julie the meaning behind her name because every time I watch her now, it makes me want to have donuts. So
The meaning behind my name is truly just because I love donuts. And I don't really eat them too often, but even like when I was a little kid, I used to just like fawn over them. Like anytime there was at church there was donuts or school. And I thought, well, it's better than my actual own last name because it's more catchy and people won't forget it. So
oh,
like a
good
dual purpose
word.
thing, but I do really love donuts.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so what's your favorite donut?
So my favorite is glazed topping with that super sweet white cream in the middle. Oh, that's the
oh,
best one. I mean, I like them all truly, except for the plain. I will not eat a. That's like a sin, I think, if there was in the sin book. No plain, no plain.
I always
that's
love the
too
coconuts.
funny.
I
Oh,
like them
really?
all, except for the plain. Yeah, they're all just, and they're so like physically just appealing to look at them. Like usually they're colorful, and who doesn't like a donut,
I
right?
know,
I
I
know.
know.
I
And
love
now
them.
the trend is, I wasn't planning to talk about this, but now the trend is, because I'm trying not to do carbs and trying to eat healthy. So the trend is now I think you can make donuts with cottage cheese and egg or chickpea and egg and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to just at least try it. See
I
if
know
that's
I was trying to actually come up with a maha donut, but it's a very difficult process to find a good recipe that's healthier, and then the whole production of who's going to make them and blah blah. So it's kind of on pause, but I was talking about it.
yeah, yeah. You have to come up with the Julie donut. That's what you have to
Yeah,
come up with,
yeah.
right?
Julie's Donuts, and they'll be maha. Kennedy approved.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to start talking about your background a little bit. Like I said, I did interview you for Truth Teller Tales, and those are all the interviews I have of truth warriors like Julie and their life stories. And it's on this same channel. And so you can hear her in-depth story. But I want to just do a little bit of that because I just find it fascinating people like you, how you first started questioning things, and where all that began.
Well, I was always the kind of person that I would see like what my parents would do and, pay taxes. And I just, in the back of my head, I always thought, honestly, that's so stupid. Like, why do we do that? And I was, as a child, would question that, nothing in depth, just like, that's
Right,
dumb. Just, you're right.
right.
And then I got deep into it in 2019, actually, like deep into it. Um, and I had a friend who's a doctor, and we're friends on Facebook, and he sent me information about adrenochrome, and that I got the bomb dropped on me. That was my first uh,
Whoa.
introduction to like really starting to dig down. And because I had surgery at the time, I had a lot of downtime, so it gave me the time to dig. So it started with that, and then that was just. Then I saw the Joe M videos and
Yeah,
the Follow the Cabal videos, and I couldn't stop. Like I was absolutely, and still am to this day, absolutely obsessed with knowing. I want to know the truth because I know we have been lied to about everything, and I also understand that the entire system is a criminal syndicate and set up to do exactly what it's done, which is,
yeah,
make us poor and make us slaves and slowly take away our rights with these installed politicians through
yeah.
election fraud. So it started there, and then COVID really had me going because I went through absolute hell at my job, and I was fighting them every week. I was in the office, saying this is a lie, and I can't breathe in this mask, and I know it's a lie, and it was a big corporation, so I'm fighting this Fortune 100 company, screaming, getting yelled at, losing coworkers as friends, and it was a disaster. And I was screaming, "Don't take the vaccine! It's a bioweapon!" Like the whole thing. I would never want to live that again. It was horrible. Um, so then when 2020 came around, I just knew
Did any
like
let me ask you this. Has any of those coworkers ever contacted you again and said, Julie, you probably were right about what you were saying? Have you heard from any of them?
not, I mean, I'm actually off of work because of my health right now. But when I was working back in August, it just kind of breezed over. Like people didn't really talk about anything, and everything kind of just settled back to like at least they were chatting or saying hello again. So, and it's a busy place. So it's not like we have a lot of time to like talk about anything. So I had a few
Hmm.
people that understood. There was a few people that were like, "Yep, this is garbage," and yeah, but a very few out of like 250 people.
Yeah. And then you're also so patriotic. That's where I've always been. I haven't always known a lot of stuff, but I've always been so patriotic. I've loved Abraham
Mhm,
Lincoln. I listened to Rush Limbaugh every day.
mhm.
I was a Tea Party person, all that stuff. When did that start with for you, being so patriotic?
Well, I knew that I always loved America. Even as a little girl, I always knew in my heart that this is truly the best country on the planet. Hands down. I just always knew that. Um, and I'm older, so like we were taught a lot more than they teach now. So I
Right.
really understood the importance of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And then as I went through all of this and started digging, it just confirmed it 10,000 times more of how important those documents are, because we're the only country in the whole world that has them. And that's why we're
Yeah.
so great. And that's why they try to do everything to take us down, because we have these amazing documents that no one else has. And how do you take us down? You have to go around it. You have to do it from within. And that's what they've tried to do for decades. And it's all coming to light. And we truly live in the greatest country in the world. And I will do anything I can to protect and defend it. I'm not a soldier, but I'm a soldier online. It's the best that I can be.
Yeah, you're a digital soldier for sure. I mean, everybody is playing the part that we're
That they
supposed to be
right,
here to
where they're
do.
at. Yeah, where they're
Yeah.
at and how they can contribute. Absolutely, and everyone's important.
And that's why it's so biblical, because it could only be divinely done through God, that there's such a variety of all the different things where of people getting the message out or doing their job. There are people in the military doing horrific things, having to go in tunnels and do horror, but
Yes.
we're
Oh,
not all
yes.
supposed to be doing that. Um,
Absolutely.
that's what just it makes it just all so miraculous, the time with which we're living. And um
It's Yes, it's the greatest time to be alive, honestly. We are seeing the undoing of the old guard, and they are evil, and they're coming down, and it's God. It's his war, and we're just in his army. I mean, that's truly what it is. So the people that don't believe in God don't quite understand it, and that's really too bad because it's all about their hatred of him.
it's true.
I mean, it
So let me
really
ask you,
is.
it is. So let me ask you a side question. So
Sure.
when all of this, when because the people that watch the shows where I'm talking, they know that I ask people from all aspects of the truth worlds, whether you're looking at the stars or whether you're in the military or whether you're,
Mhm.
decoding Q drops or whatever you are. But everybody is saying the same thing. We're going into the most amazing time, our future, where this awakening is taking us to the golden age of goodness and everything. I just wonder your thoughts of how many the drops on Q say 4 to 6 people are just never going to get it. I mean, do
Yes.
you think that there will be some that are just not ever going to see?
Absolutely. It is extreme, deep, and serious brainwashing that they did a very, very good job through the media and the podcasters and the all the accounts that are against President Trump, and what he's trying to do. There definitely will be, I'd say, 4 to 6% that no matter what they see or hear, they won't believe it. When they see military tribunals, and they will, they're going to be like, "That's fake. That's CGI. He's a tiger." Like they're not going to believe it. But the majority of the people will completely be like gobsmacked and be like, wow, we were lied to. These people are snakes. And that's going to be a big awakening, especially when they find out what they've been doing to our children. They're going to really be like, wow, these people are sick. I mean, in your wildest dreams, you can't imagine the horrors that they've been doing under our feet for decades with our children. And it's
Horrors.
unbelievable.
And
It's
so
horrors.
I have to show this picture because this morning I was going to a couple yard sales because that's what I love to do. I love bargains. And there was a big intersection and there's these people setting up this tent. It says
Oh
Trump's
my.
treason is the reason. Stop lying. And I'm thinking these
Mhm.
poor old white people
Yep.
are going to be gobsmacked when they know he's actually saving humanity,
Exactly right,
right?
Ellen.
What
Exactly
are
right.
your
I saw
thoughts?
that on my way. I was driving down the road right by my house. I was going to the grocery store, and it was literally probably about 20 people, same exact signage, like holding signs, stop lying, blah, blah, blah. And I just thought, I just shake my head. I'm like, he's even saving the people that hate him. And when I say
Yes.
saving, he is literally saving them. And of
Right.
course it's God. I always point to God, but he is the face of this operation.
Yes.
And if people would understand where we would be right now if he didn't agree to run in 2015 and put his whole life on hold and put his whole life on the line. This is why I'm so passionate about it, because I know where we'd be. And we'd be rounded up in a war with North Korea. We would be rounded up in FEMA camps, force vaccinated, no complete censorship, and we would have CBDCs by now, which is financial slavery. They hate us. And I say it over and over again that people need to understand who these people are. They are the enemy because they're evil. They're not just paid off politicians or a few, they're bloodline families that hate humanity. And it's biblical. It goes back to Cain. And it's
Yes.
what they believe. And I can get into that later, but it's a
Yeah.
lot. It's very, very evil. And it's about God. And they hate humanity. So they don't care about people dying from vaccines or being rounded up. They hate us. And that's what
And
President Trump stopped.
that in itself blows my mind because if the people of these bloodlines, these bad entities have been have doing this for so long, the plan for the with the white hats has to also have been going on for quite some time.
Exactly right. which is the frustration that I see, because I get very frustrated. I have to reel it in about these people that truly have no idea what this man is doing and his team, and that the military is behind him. And there's no way to undo this type of evil that has infiltrated literally every aspect of our lives and the world, by the way. So it's
Right.
global, okay? They have entrenched themselves and their ideas and their laws, and they're just usurping our Constitution over time, slowly. And people want an overnight, oh, okay, well, if Obama's bad, why isn't he arrested? Why isn't he arrested? Okay, so the last couple of years, we know, oh, okay, well, let's arrest him. Not understanding the magnitude of this and how many people need to know what they did and why they did it and exactly what they did and who they really are. So all it goes down to is understanding, and people just don't understand. Plus, they're impatient and they think it's about them and what they want. So how you'd have to come up with a genius, seriously, done with AI and the military and many, many, many people on board to come at them sideways, because you can't come at them straight on because they'll kill you. And it has to be covert because the public panics and they don't understand. And I'm not saying people are stupid. Some are, but I'm saying the general public knows something's wrong, right? And they
Right.
are like, we want justice. Well, we all do. But everything with this operation is timing. So they do a move, we do a counter move. We know the danger. So we're going to do that. Not we, but President Trump and the team and everybody behind this operation is going to do things, moves and counter moves, gamed out for a very long time. If they do this, we're going to do this. We win. It's already over, but we still have to go through these processes because there still is serious danger out there. These people are horrible and evil. So they're going to go down no matter what. It's a done deal. However, it's like looking at a chessboard and saying, looking at it going, wow, I already lost. That's the enemy. They know they already lost. The game just has to play out. And in the meantime, we have to be patient and understanding and support our president. And that is my goal every day.
Amen. And in the meantime, I believe that there's, that corruption and
Mhm.
her, well, I'll just call it corruption. It's way worse than that. Trickles down all the way down to the local level and
Absolutely,
in
it does.
every area. And so there's still a lot of that, obviously.
Yep.
And so what's going to be fascinating to see is how that gets disseminated, and if they're part of the sealed indictments along the way, and if it's just going to be interesting if there has to be a big revelation to come for those people to I don't that's the part that I'm just scratching my head about, how we'll be
Mhm.
dealing with that. What do you think, Julie?
Well, there are hundreds of thousands of sealed indictments, okay?
Right.
And what people have to, I guess, realize is we see about 20% of what's really going on. President Trump gives us a lot of clues. He says things. When people do what we do, I catch it. We all catch it and go, "Oh, he said this." Everything he says, he's right about. He gives us clues. So
Mhm.
the reason we can't all see it, we can't see the whole operation because it's covert. Because if we knew, so would the enemy. Plus,
Right.
I go back to the public panics,
Hmm.
and they don't need to know everything. They just need to know justice is coming and support your president. And I believe once the big arrests come, the people that we want to see arrested, the Obamas, the Hillarys, all the big names, they're going to be arrested. But it has to be in sequence, because once you everything is about public opinion. So if you don't have the public on board, they look for a certain number. They look for 80%. So once you have 80% of the people on board with what needs to be done and in agreement, then you could go ahead and do it. But if you do it too early, the whole point, one of the big points of a military operation with Q, is to not have a civil war, because we're a huge country and it takes time to get this information to the general public, where at the very least they go, wow, something's wrong. Something is wrong. We're being lied to. I don't exactly know how. Maybe they don't do what we do, but they understand that, you know what? Obama really is a scumbag. Hillary Clinton really is a horrible human being. And you talk about their crimes, and I talk about that a lot. Once they understand that, then the public can go, yes, and demand it. We demand justice, because it doesn't work without we the people. Because a military can come and slaughter all the bad guys, but if the public's sitting there going, what happened? They're going to think he's tyrannical. They're going to think he's a horrible human being, because they don't understand the crimes. So this is why it's a process. The public has to know what they did. And this is the other thing. We will see their tribunals, and we're going to see them so the public understands in their own words, and the people who are going to bring judgment upon them, they will see what they did. That's why we're going to see them, because we have to see them, because the country has to understand the magnitude of the corruption and evil and understand what they did. So
Right.
once these big arrests happen, and they're coming, and I do believe they're in the fall. I don't like to say dates, but I really do believe in the fall we're going to see the big ones that we want to see. And the enemy is very dangerous. So once that happens, you're going to see absolute chaos. They're going to do their best with who they have left to do whatever they can to change the news cycle. And if that's a war, bomb threats, shootings, they'll do anything. Even though they know they're done, it doesn't matter. They are evil, so they'll just do whatever. So it has to be very carefully done, because it's all about public persona and perception, and them understanding why we have to do what we have to do.
Yeah. Wow. Were you going to say something,
Julie,
Tricia?
I was going to ask Julie if she saw Greg Gutfield's script that they did. I think it was a week ago Friday. They went there on MK Ultra. I sent that to you. Did you get to see that, Ellen?
Yes, I did. I did.
They went there, and I can't remember the comedian's name, but you can just tell it's all scripted. That he even explains, he goes, oh, that's supposedly the government's program that supposedly was stopped in 1973. And then he looks at the camera and goes, or was it? So they're seeding it. And then they go on to explain and tie it into not only what MK Ultra was, and that they took unknowing, civilians that were unknowingly participants using LSD, using fear, and then wrapped it up in a bow by saying, I think it might explain what's going on today, in reference to some of the violence that we've been seeing in the one-offs. And then even the very vote at the end, Greg Gutfield even ties it into COVID, saying, it makes me think there's got to be a reason why we were all running around in masks and accepting that. And it was. I was just coming off the couch.
And that's incredible, right? Right. That's incredible, because again, it goes back to, there's nothing they won't do to try and make this goal of a new world order, of a one world order. So it always, to me, I say it all the time, is going back to understanding the things that they would do, like school shootings, and by the way, I believe the media is a light MK Ultra brainwashing. It's just a light version, very light, because real MK Ultra is extremely horrific. But yes, you're absolutely right. And that goes to show that why it has to be done slowly, because the brainwashing has to be done. When you think about psychology, you cannot drop these bombs on people, and it goes back to, as well, as you have to show them, you can't tell people things, you have to show them. This is one part of where you're talking about it to plant the seed. Like you said, Tricia, oh, what are you talking about? What is MK Ultra? Which will get people looking and going, I did hear that once before somewhere when I was scrolling. So it's all about these things laid out where it's a slow awakening because it's so much. It's just
Yes.
too much. And
Yes.
it has to be this way, and it has to be slow, but it's still way faster than what it took them to get us here. That's the point. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
My
Yeah,
gosh.
that's
I mean,
good.
it really is good because our brainwashing is multi-generational, you know?
Absolutely it
Um,
is.
it but just a really small thing. We were talking to a gentleman who's on the View of Truth who has a way of helping senior citizens. He has some homes and really does wonderful things for them and has listen to music, walk outside, have a great diet, give them life, put the life
Mhm.
back into the but a lot of older people are just so programmed that they think, okay, this is it, and they've lost their will, and because they don't think that's a program too
Well,
for
it's
for
also the vaccines. I absolutely
yeah.
believe they did something to their brain. Honestly, that is real thing. People's personalities have changed. I definitely think there was something in there to weaken them and do something to their brain. I've seen people change their whole personality or become more aggressive or more passive. And when you have, especially because as we back up to see what they did to the elderly by giving them flu shots every year, which has thimerosal in it, which makes them absolutely brain dead and get dementia and hearing loss. So now you got, and that was by design. So now you have this whole group of people that have literal injuries because of vaccines, and a lot of them are in homes. My mom has dementia. She's in a home, and she doesn't like Trump because she sits on the couch and watches TV and they have on CNN. So of course she's going
Yeah,
to think that. Plus she's got
right.
dementia. So it's they're diabolical. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel bad for them because I know those older people would believe what we believed. They're just
Yeah.
brainwashed to not believe. That's all. So that is actually, it's so tragic.
It is, but I we're going in the right direction because there's
Mhm.
good because we're going to be the old people at this point. We're going to say none of that, none of
No
that.
way.
Yeah, I
Turn
mean,
that
no
channel.
way. Yeah, it ain't happening. We're still going to be doing this stuff,
That's
and
right.
so
Try
I
putting me
mean,
in a home. Just try it.
Yeah, good luck, right? Good luck.
but what's fascinating to me too is those of us that weren't as susceptible to the brainwashing, obviously,
Mhm.
because we can see they had to poison us in every way
Yes,
possible with our
possible.
water and our food and the air and I mean everything to dumb
Everything.
us down and keep us sick. I mean, it really is so diabolical the evil. And at the same time keeping us sick so that we won't ask questions, but then to profit off of us as well. It was a
Mhm,
win-win for them, right?
mhm,
Um, and it really when you really dive deep into it, and you and I were talking about this a little bit before,
mhm,
it is overwhelming when and for some reason folks like us also all at the same time I know there was reasons for this too all were in our absorption period of fall of cabal and all the ones you're talking
mhm,
about that all happened to come to all of us all and that we could have but for some reason we were able to absorb all of that and all of that horrificness without losing our minds because
mhm.
I do think we had the path of God in front of us. Do you believe that, Julie?
Absolutely agree with that. This is definitely not for everybody. Everybody has different personalities, different beliefs, and I believe the people that it was laid on to do what we do is absolutely divine. And I could see why it's just not for some people. It's just not, they just can't go there. And I get it. I'm not like upset with them. But but I'm just the nudger, like to show, like with my daughter, I try all the time to have her understand how important it is. She's 32 years old. I want her to understand how important it is. Like, for example, how important voting is. And don't ignore, you don't have to be, a obsessed politician, political person, but at the very least, understand how important voting is and understand how we got here through electronic voting machine fraud and voter fraud and tabulator fraud and districting fraud and all the ways that they cheated, which is like 30 different ways at least. And I just, to say how important it is. Absolutely. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's to me, it really is just an overwhelming time, a miraculous time, an unbelievable
Mhm.
time, that if all of this can be unwound in a way that doesn't cause the civil war that you're talking
Mhm.
about,
Yes.
it's a miracle. It's nothing but a God thing, because it's been so
Amen.
entrenched in every level of our lives, to actually be able to come out of this and have this glorious time that is ahead of us is biblical. Do you
It
say that a lot?
truly, truly is biblical. I mean, it really is. They did absolutely everything for so long, and the truth is always going to shine no matter how long it takes. And that's what the saying is, dark to light, because the truth will be revealed. And
Yeah.
it is all God, Ellen. It is all God.
It is. It's just it's amazing, incredible time, and that we're
It
all
is.
living in it,
I
and we
know.
all, which is just so cool. Well, I want to show something. It's just such an interesting other rabbit hole. That's just so interesting. Let me see if I can bring this up. You remember also, I remember diving in for a while on crop circles. Do you remember with that? That seemed to be an area too that was in my purview for a while. And there were fake ones, but there weren't fake ones, and they were trying to show. One came out yesterday, actually.
Mhm.
And it was in um Jack Castle Plantation. Was in a different country. And here it is. Let me just show you this, because and then I want to just tell you what they're saying, different ideas as to what it is.
Yeah.
Um, let me just show you this. Um, okay, but it's beautiful. If nothing, I
Yes.
mean, it's just stunningly beautiful. Um, and it's amazing. I mean, these things have been happening for years all over the world.
It goes back to 1678, actually, in England was the first documented one.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow.
and it was actually called Mowing Devil. And that they put out a pamphlet for everybody and talking about crop circles, and it was actually a homage to the devil. So,
Really?
um, yeah,
Well,
so I don't I
you
and
know,
in 91 two guys came out and admitted they were doing it. So,
I think that there are everything. I think, I think that there definitely all of these things have been corrupted,
oh,
all
for
these
sure.
things they've had to corrupt.
Yeah.
But the ones that were real, that one happens to be what people have correlated it to is the Mayan, way back, the Mayan folks, that was their symbol, the five-pointed star for Venus. And Venus, they said, because that was their orbit that they took, that looked like that. But they said that Venus, for the Mayans, is so important because it Venus simplifies mathematical harmony, divine connection, and cyclical renewal. That's their belief way back. And so if any of those are true, divine connection, um, that would be wonderful, And so if we can have things that come into purview, and we can look at things in a wonderful light like that, people can't take that away from me, you know? They can say whatever they want, but I can use it in my way of that actually can be a wonderful thing, because if God is in charge of everything,
Mhm.
um, he's ultimately the one that is in charge of everything. And he uses nature to heal us and to take care of us, and maybe even through messages. Who knows? But I just know I'm going to just take things that happen like this and put a good spin on it.
Heck yeah. You know what? We don't know. I just know that it was the first document was a long time ago. And we could always take back anything that was nefarious and make it good. How's that? Because we don't know.
Exactly.
I mean, let's be honest, we
We
don't
don't.
know. And then you have
And
people that
lots.
came out and admitted they were doing them to have this big.
Yeah.
mystery, and they admitted it. But yeah.
And, and a lot of old things that we've heard have also been misconstrued. And a lot of things that
Mhm.
actually are really good for us, like natural medicine, were said that they were horrific and bad for
Yep,
you too,
that's
because
right.
they were actually good for you.
Of
Um,
course.
I
Yes,
mean, they
of
have to
course.
villainize everything that's good for us.
Everything, everything. Yeah, hide it, lie about it.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
I
they are
wanted
definitely fascinating. They are definitely fascinating.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to go to your Twitter, and one thing that you had about, which I thought was so interesting. Oh, it says that let me stop sharing here because it says I lost my, but you're talking, you put the clip on about Marco Rubio and the celebration, the prayer celebration for the rededication on Sunday, May 17th. Um, that up in DC, that's, this year has been amazing with the rededication of our country to God. And there was the National Day of Prayer actually was the 7th, and there was gospels that were being done in the White House, and
Mhm.
we're really retaking everything, which is through Jesus, God led. Don't you feel it so
Absolutely.
much stronger this year?
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that you have a praying president, a praying White House that declares the name Jesus as king and God, you have never seen that before, ever. And that's
Right.
because this administration understands this battle and it is spiritual. And when we rededicate America on May 17th in DC, and many millions of people will be tuning in praying as well, it's game on, because we are
Oh,
rededicating this country as it was founded. No matter what people out there say, they will say anything to say, no, it wasn't, blah, blah. That's garbage. We were founded on Christian values, and they made a covenant with God to form America. That's it. And anyone saying otherwise, they're lying. So, because they want to kick God out of here. So, no, we're bringing
right.
them back. And we're bringing back the Bible in schools, and we're bringing back prayer in schools, and the Pledge of Allegiance in schools. We're bringing God back. And that is why we win, because we prayed for this. We've been praying. The world is praying for this, because I think even other countries understand this battle. And you're going to see all kinds of garbage on the news that they hate America. No, they don't. Because guess what? We are all human beings, and we're all children of the Lord. And we all want to love and be loved and enjoy our lives and be happy. That's what we all want. And we want to be able to freely worship Him. And we prayed for it, and we're getting it. And He heard us. And that's why we win. That's why we say God wins, because He does.
He does, and he did. Let me see if you can hear this.
I invite you to join
You
us
hear
on the
that?
National Mall for Rededicate 250, a national jubilee of prayer, praise, and thanksgiving in Washington, D.C. Let us gather in unity to give thanks for 2.5 centuries of freedom and to rededicate our future as one nation under God. Be part of this historic moment of faith. Register for your free tickets now at freedom250.org.
How cool. I mean,
It's
and it's
amazing.
all it is amazing, and it's just oh, it's such a glorious, glorious time. And when we're supposed to be, because I wanted you to talk about this too, Julie, because we're supposed to be focused on things like this, the goodness, the joy, the love of humanity. We're not
Mhm.
supposed to be fighting each other. And
Correct.
you have such a presence on X. You are in a battlefield there, and you see it. What are your thoughts about all that? And is it just par for course? And what are you thinking about all that?
Well, I say often, like often, that it is a spiritual battle. And we need to see the 40,000-foot view on who these people are. And I'm very big on, we need to pray, and we need to give it to Him. You need, like, that's what I do when I wake up every morning. Before I even grab my phone, I'm like, thank you, Lord, for letting me wake up. Thank you, Lord, for letting me be in this fight. Thanks for giving me eyes to see and ears to hear, and to keep me in this game, because it is tough out here. But I mean, I just do what I can to have people see that. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It is, and I it's unfortunate that people are just focused on fighting each other, just fight instead of understanding that we're not supposed to be doing that with each other. We're supposed to be fighting the enemy and uplifting each other.
We
But
got a
we're
lot
just
of
not there yet.
We're not. We have a lot of people, and I don't know or care if this sounds good or bad, but we have a lot of people with very big egos. And what they also do is they look at only themselves, and they look at only their personal situation, their losses, their finances, and you know what? I get people attack me all the time. And I'm like, look, I might look like I have money for some reason. I'm broke. I'm on disability right now through work. I am literally living paycheck to paycheck. I lost my health insurance because I've been off so long. It's not even a health insurance. So like I am out there struggling. I don't whine about it. And I'm only saying that to have people understand, like, look, I don't get paid from anybody with all this money. I am literally living my check to check until I could find out what's wrong with me. So this is, and I could whine and complain that I, fight with my dad and all the crap that goes on in my personal life. You know what? It's not about me. This is a war. And there's going to be loss and pain and suffering. It just is. And it's horrible, but that's just reality. So get out of yourself. Like I had someone online, we were talking before, Ellen, that I won't say the name. I should, but I won't. That was totally attacking me. And all this person did was whine and complain about her personal situation, and she was going against Trump. And I thought, you know what? That is so irresponsible and selfish because her account was about Trump and then she turned. Let me guess why. Okay. But anyway, I have no proof of that. But anyway, it's not about me. It's just not. It's us as humanity, and to see the bigger picture and to say, wow, we're all struggling out here. I mean, everyone, even if it wasn't for any of this, we all have our problems and issues. But I need to step above that and be like, you know what? If I have to be a little more patient and less whiny, because all people doing is whining. And I'm really getting tired of it. Like, it's just whine, whine, whine. And I get it. I'm struggling too. I'm not out there whining about my situation. I'm worried about waking people up, understanding the magnitude of this, supporting your president, and understanding there is a golden age coming, and to give people hope and not hopium. It's not hopium.
No.
If you know my account, Ellen, you will never, ever see a negative thing on my account unless I'm trashing Obama or Hillary.
Yeah.
That's the only time you will see negativity on my account, is if I'm trashing these scumbags. And that's it.
Yeah. Wait, you and I talk about that, Ellen. We're trying to be in the fight, and we're trying to do that too. We're trying to get the message out, and it's so easy to get caught up in, whether you feel like you have enough numbers or you're doing enough, or why isn't why aren't the numbers higher or whatever. And then we always come to the same conclusion. We're like, don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Don't look over there or there.
Absolutely.
We do, right? We just do. If we just help one person,
Amen.
If everybody just helped one person,
Amen.
Where we would be a whole lot better. And so we don't have, like, it's overwhelming if you put this goal out that's almost impossible to reach, right? Take it in baby steps and take the little wins along the way. And also listen, be ready to listen to that God tap. Maybe we think we're supposed to go in this direction. And if we get so hard ass into that, you're not paying attention, and you're going to miss it. Because I'd rather him be subtle than hit me over the head, because when he hits people over the head, sometimes he has to wake people up pretty hard. I'd rather not.
I'd rather not learn the hard way. Right? Yeah, you need to, in this fight, you need to be like this. This is how I am. Literally, I'm like this. I am so laser focused. And I'm not saying I don't get upset sometimes or frustrated, because we're all human. But I am so laser focused on supporting President Trump. And I get so ridiculed because they'll say, you're in a cult and don't idolize a man. And then I hear all the God part of it, how I shouldn't idolize. And I'm like, look, my what I say to that is, I idolize no man, but I certainly respect him, the utmost respect for our president and this administration, because I know what he's doing. I see the 40,000 foot view, and you have to be really strong online because you got the keyboard warriors that, it does hurt sometimes. I mean, I've had people tell me I should have been aborted. I should die. I hope your kids, I mean, really, I won't even get into it. Horrible, horrible, horrible things. And I'm just like, keep going. Trump is the greatest.
He's still your president.
He's still your president. So you literally, and it's not for everyone, but like we were talking about before, ladies, how like even the mods in the chat and the people that repost you or me, not everyone could be big mouth like me or do what you guys do, but they're helping too. This is, you know what I mean? And I so appreciate everyone in the chat. I appreciate all the mods on all the podcasts I'm on. Like everybody is so important, even if you don't have exactly, or if you just even maybe mention something to someone like in your family, like, and not fighting, but like, just drop that little seed, like keep talking about truthful things. And it's all, Tricia, it's all right. It's all discernment. Like I pray every single day, please let me say the right thing before I get on podcasts. I'm like, God, just be with me to say the right thing, to give your message, to make sure it's as truthful as I could possibly be with what I know. Like it's that serious and that important. And it's all God. It's all God.
It is. It's all God.
Well, it is, because like, everybody has a story about how hard they tried to wake up a loved one, and you're like,
oh yeah,
and it's like God will lift the veil on that individual when God is ready, and that is just that's such amazing proof when I finally understood that. Like I was taking it personally, or
yes, that's tough. Yes, that's a tough one.
Well, and granted, we know not to start out with adrenochrome, right?
Right. Do not start off with that. Yes, please.
So we try to learn some of those lessons along the way, but even when you think you gave it your all and you still can't reach that person that is like so important to you, you took it so personally, and I know we still do, but I think when we go back to, it's like, you just have to go, it's not their time. It's not, they're on their own journey.
They're just not there yet. Yes.
Yeah. That's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard because I've had arguments just recently. I won't get into all the details, but I had an argument with my father, and I actually was in Cleveland and he kicked me out of the house.
Oh no.
Literally kicked me out of his house, and I had to drive home 2 days early. Yep. It was bad.
You're kidding.
Oh.
It was really, and my dad and I are super tight. I don't talk to him a lot. He's just not a phone guy. He's, he's older, but I prayed about it and I went home, and it was all about politics, even though I wasn't talking about politics. That came out in the yelling, which is why he was frustrated. So I could laugh about it now, but I sat on that and I'm like, you know what? I'm not even mad at him. He's just highly brainwashed. And then he called me 3 weeks later and apologized. And I was like, oh, it's okay, Dad. Like, he was so angry, but that just goes to show you how deep this is. And it hits me personally because I've been through all of that, where, I mean, he was spitting. He was so angry, like shaking. And then 2 weeks later, I had a heart attack.
Oh
my.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. He was that. And he's vaccinated, but anyway.
Is he by chance former military?
No.
Okay.
No.
So,
but
after
he
the heart attack, he called you after the heart attack, he called you and apologized.
I don't think.
When did he have the heart attack?
I think he had the heart attack right after that, and then then he called like 3 weeks later and apologized.
Yeah, gosh. Well, maybe
I mean, I don't even say that for like pity. I'm just saying, like, I understand the loss, the frustration, how deep the brainwashing is, and to not, like you said, Tricia, not take it personally, because it's not. I mean, that's my dad. We are super tight. Like, oh my God, I'm his little juju. So that was a tough one, but it's all good.
I'm a baby. I mean, like, I'm like, and I don't careful about how I do this because I think I prayed for patience one time, and that's not a good thing
And
to
then,
do. But
yeah,
I'm always wanting to go like, why did you make me like so sensitive? Because it's annoying,
yeah.
you
I
know.
think
Like
a lot of us,
I want to be tough like Julie. Just
Yeah,
well,
I just
you
don't take it
are,
personally. You're tough, girl. You're on this show right now. You're tough. It's
yeah,
just,
you are.
really, you're in this
He is,
game, and there's
yeah.
levels of it. I'm just happen to be like super, like I just don't care what other people think. And believe me, I wasn't always like that. I mean, I kind of was, but not to this degree. That's why God's using me because I'm
yeah.
like, don't care. So what? Move
Yeah,
on. And I got a
yeah.
big mouth, and I'm Italian, so
Yay! I'm Italian
and I'll
too.
kill you. You don't
Woo!
believe me? Okay. I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
tell you.
kill you.
I
Exactly.
just love you.
And so we have a lot of people watching on X, and I just have to say, first of all, thank you, and the people watching on Rumble in the chat and Hair Therapy for being so great, and people that are there. But if you're on X, my channel is Truth Teller Tales on Rumble, and I started by interviewing incredible folks like Julie and Burn Notice, who is in our chat, who were absolute truth warriors and telling their stories, their life stories. So if you come over to Rumble at some point and go to Truth Teller Tales, and you can see all of the truth warriors that I've interviewed. It's their personal life stories, and they're really awesome to watch and get caught up on
Yeah.
because a lot of their stories they've been through a lot to get where they are now. And if you're there, hit the follow button. That really helps us so much.
Ellen, I just
As
wanted to tell
well.
you really quick that what you're doing is absolutely amazing to have a platform for the people that are in this fight and to tell their story. That is super amazing. And I just think you're a beautiful woman inside and out. And I just
Oh,
wanted to tell you that.
She's doing a time capsule. She's doing a time capsule that
I
your
know
daughter and
exactly
your
what you're doing.
grandchildren.
I
Yeah,
know exactly what she's doing. And I think it's beautiful. And
yeah.
I appreciate you.
yay! And I really hope that as many people reach it, not only now but for the future, because that they're
Yes.
going to be looking back at this time. So it's just so cool that we have the opportunity to do it, actually. And besides this show, for the people that are listening on X, we do another show on Fridays called the View of Truth, because I hate The View on ABC. They're just so
I
divisive.
love
And
them.
so
Give me 1
well,
minute in a room with those ladies, they'd be
oh
out.
my God, I
1 minute in
know.
that room with them, they'd be on the floor. Give me
Yeah,
1
oh,
minute.
they're the worst. So we do
They're
the
the
View of
worst.
Truth every week, also on this Truth Teller Tales channel, and we talk about great things, inspiring things, so that you actually can start your weekend off in a good mood. But
Hey,
so
Ellen, do you think
yeah.
when they're watching these, in the down the road years later, they're going to be laughing at our hairstyles?
How could
I
they?
don't know. How could they? How could they?
Come on now.
How
They
good.
better not.
What we do
I'm-
about 80s hair, right? So
Oh my God. My hair, guys, my hair was out to here, and I'd use like a can of Aquanet, like one can every 2 days. Shh. And I'd be teasing it. I was called the lion. And I was blonde.
oh, no way.
Yeah, I had like lighter brown, like yours, Tricia. Yeah, in high school.
Wow,
Yeah, you believe
that is
that?
crazy. Well,
Well, mine was
I
brown
want
in
to.
high school, so there you go.
See, there you go.
So speaking of that, I want to show a clip because it's something that you touched on, Julie, and something that you touched on, Tricia. I I just interviewed Mark Atwood, and he's just a legendary truth warrior. He lives in Ireland now, but he's from the UK, and that's coming out on Tuesday. And he touches on that we have been brainwashed by he says he calls them the devil, but demonic people, basically. That and you were talking about that, Julie, and the
Mhm,
bloodlines and everything.
mhm,
And then he said he's talking about that he's finally realized if he just follows God and follows that path, and we're coming out of this, we're all coming out of this, and just to follow
mhm.
God. And he did say, he said, when I don't follow God, he hits me over the head with the fish. That's I can feel like so he gets he gets hit really hard. So so here is just this little clip that I have. Let me see. Just do this.
Demonically possessed, to some degree, if not possessed,
Mhm.
controlled and influenced
Right.
by fourth dimensional entities that know who we are before we come in, that knew this time was coming and been trying to stop it, that have been feeding off us for a very, very long time and kept us all in the dark with the veil down. And that veil's been lifting for quite a long time. A lot of people in their 90s now knew about this, stuff 40, 50 years ago. And those of us that are on a mission, and I don't mean that in any grandiose way. I just mean that's exactly what my life is.
Right.
I know it's a mission now.
Yes.
I didn't understand that, but it's only as time's gone by and you look back and piece it all together, you go, oh my God, yeah, that was that true. And, I just had a meeting with somebody, I was saying the same thing. It's like, you only get to know what you need to know. Everything's on a need to know basis. So you only, your mission would be jeopardized if you knew everything.
Yep. Yes.
So you get the guidance. You either follow the guidance or you don't. And if you and in my case, every time I made the wrong choices, I got slapped around the face by God with a big wet fish until I realized,
That's good.
Right?
That
That's so
sounds like a
great.
Q operation, doesn't it?
Right?
Need to know basis.
But he said because it's true, if we knew, we were on a need to know basis, because otherwise it would be just too much. Isn't that interesting, Julie?
It's very interesting. And I think everybody just has their part. Like, I think if you're awake, you were supposed to be awake. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
incredible. And there's so many great people out there. And I know, like, the media and all the bots out there try to make it seem like people are fed up with Trump and they're don't agree with him. And I've seen all the time. I voted for him 3 times, and I see that, and that is not a real person, maybe a handful. It's not, but yeah, it's true. Everyone's on their own journey in their own time, and everyone's learning what they're supposed to learn or what they can learn at the moment for where they're at.
Yeah.
Because I don't know everything either. I mean, it's just where you're at. God meets you where you're at, period.
And that just gave it more meaning to what he said.
Yeah.
We're on a need to know basis, and everyone is on a different journey.
Everyone is on a different journey.
Their need to know basis is all different.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Right?
Because God
Yeah.
knows what some can't handle. I mean, there's just some things people can't handle. And I don't saying because they're weak, it's just their mind. Like it's just it's just is. It's not like cutting anyone down. Like I said, everyone is on their own journey of their own awakening. But the good news is people are. And it's a lot of us. And the majority of the country, I think, at the very least, supports Trump. And here's what I say to people when they're whining. I'm like, so what's your choice? Kamala? What is your choice to not liking Trump? At the minimum, what's your choice? You would have had some disgusting globalist, lying, cackling hyena? That's what you wanted?
Yeah.
Why don't you shut up and go look on the whitehouse.gov and the 250 executive orders and actions. And I make videos a lot about his accomplishments because people forget. And I'm like, no, he did this. And I'm like, so
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. When you go back and see that some of the first and most important executive orders had to do with child trafficking, who's going to argue with that?
Right.
But
well, there'll be people arguing because it's Trump, but yeah. I mean, we still have executive orders that are in place right now from 2017. It's a military operation. This is why I know we win.
Yes. And and folks that like Derek Johnson who put it out there, and I love people, and you put it out there, and Absolute Storm puts it out there. People that say, look at this, look at this, look at this, and it's undeniable what's happening.
Well, it's in black and white in a book.
Yeah,
a best-selling book in black and white. Here's the thing: people don't care. They don't want to take the time to read it. Or they don't have the time to read it, or they're like, you know what I'm saying? And I get it. Like, I'm pretty truthful. He doesn't have the best personality sometimes. I've watched him where I'm like, ooh, or he's bashing people and name calling. Maybe that's not the best approach, But I'll tell you this about him. His work is spot on and in black and white. Laws and orders, laws and orders. I don't have to like everybody all the time. What his work has done is incredible. What he's doing is incredible. He doesn't do it always the way I would do it, but he's not me, and that's not my problem or issue.
Well, I think Derek is meant to have that abrupt character because it's exactly what you said. I don't
And Trump.
care whether he's somebody I want to sit down and have dinner with. What he's putting out is correct, and it's truthful, and he can back it up.
It is.
You had a charisma. Obama, was charming. Like
very, yeah.
Like I think that's what they're trying to show us is no, you're going to have these characters that you may not fall in love with, and that's why Trump is portrayed with this ego and this. I don't think if he was so completely smooth all the time, then we're gonna that.
Well, then he sounds like Obama.
We like Trump.
Yeah, because we the people love him for exactly who he is, and he's not a politician. That's why we love him. And he does. And then they've got the best media on the planet. Like the media team behind the Trump administration is incredible. Like they're like, modern and funny. And they for God's sakes, they even had SpongeBob at the White House on one of their videos. Like, come on, guys. Like they're incredible. They know what the public wants, and he gives it to them.
But just you two saying that made me think, okay, so people were schnookered by Obama because of his charm, yet he was doing some really devilish things, sending money to Iran and all kinds of things. But Donald Trump has this prickly personality, but he's doing, and people get triggered by that, but he's doing incredible things. So it's showing people that you have to look past what you're seeing in front of you and do your own homework. They're just trying to show that over and over and over again to people. Don't you think, Julie?
Well, it cracks me up though, because I think his personality is hilarious. First of all, he's really funny, and he's so generous. And I love that he just says stuff like that. I laugh. He's incredible. I just think I'm going to have dinner with him, Ellen. I'm speaking that into existence. I'm having dinner with him one day.
So now then the question becomes which one?
I don't even care. Right? I don't care. I'll take the golf Trump, the one that's locked up, and the one that's in what's it? The Mount Cheyenne, take that. Whatever, whoever.
Yeah, Cheyenne Mountain.
Oh my gosh! But
there's like 10 Trumps.
If you can come to a place where we're talking about and just laugh about it and know that God has won here, and instead of getting so about everything, and
I know
there are people playing certain parts, there are people who are taking deals, there are people that who knows,
right? And that's thanks for saying that, Ellen, because I want to touch on that real quick if you don't mind. There's a lot of people out there that are trying to figure out who's good or bad, like it's some kind of and I get it, like it's just curiosity because we want to know. But I always say this: do not waste your time on finding out if that person is good or bad, because if they're not good, they're not going forward, and if they are, they will. So if you trying to figure out if XYZ is good, Bob's good, Jim's good, he's not, this is a liar, MGT is a traitor, or is she playing a role? And they try to figure it out like it's a game of what's that game? I can't think of the game. Who did it? What's that game?
Yes. Who did
you know what I'm talking about, right? Like it's some board game, and it's like, look, I get it. We're humans, we're curious, but don't spend a lot of time there. Is what I want to say, because it doesn't matter. Right. Because we're going to find out that some people were actually playing a role, that they're not bad. I mean, so just all I'm saying is don't spend a lot of time on it or get hung up in it. What we should be talking about now is an election integrity and talking about the Fed. Those are the two things I talk about all the time, because that's what we need to be looking at now. So with that said,
We'll talk about the Fed a little bit on what's some of the things you've been talking about and posting.
So it's kind of my job, I feel like, to talk about the Federal Reserve as often as I possibly can without, saying it too much. People need to understand what it is. And it's not the government. It's a foreign criminal entity that hijacked our country. We borrow money from the Fed. We were never supposed to borrow money from anyone. The Treasury was supposed to create our own money. And back before, we were funded by tariffs. That's why Trump brought them back. That is how we were funded. The American citizens were never supposed to be taxed. Okay.
Yeah.
So the Fed came in with an illegal, unconstitutional act with corrupt politicians. So there's those words, corrupt politicians installed in the middle of the night before Christmas, installed the 1913 Federal Reserve Act and literally hijacked our country. So I like to talk about it because it's going away. And President Trump keeps talking about too late Powell, because he wants us to look at the Federal Reserve and understand what it is. And it's so evil what they have done to mankind. And there's central banks everywhere. A few handful of countries don't have them. So it's a worldwide criminal syndicate pretending it's the government. And so when you learn that every single dollar that you have paid in taxes throughout your whole life, none of it went to America, you should be furious. So when it does go away, you're like, thank you, Lord Jesus and President Trump, because it is going away. Because you cannot have a golden age if you have a corrupt criminal syndicate in our country. He talks about 1776. We're going back to law and order before we were hijacked under every way possible. We've been usurped and hijacked by foreign criminal syndicate. And so we will create our own money through the U.S. Treasury. And when President Trump came out, the U.S. government, so it was ustreasury.gov. You can go look for it yourself if you don't believe me. They came out with a statement and said, starting in June, we will have they didn't say new. We will have President Trump's signature on paper currency. And then there's people out there saying, oh, he's just an egomaniac and he wants his name on. I'm like, oh my God. No.
Not how
First
it works.
of all, do you think President Trump would put his signature on a debt note, foreign, evil, illegal, and unconstitutional note? That right there tells you we're going to have new money created by the Treasury. That is why President Trump put fencing around the White House, and then he only put fencing around the Treasury building. He did that as symbology to tell us that we are protecting our Treasury again.
Oh, yes. I have a picture to show you. I want to show you a picture. So I was just in DC. There's fencing. That's the Treasury building. There's fencing around it.
Yep.
And the scaffolding is to create is for the ballroom on the east wing, and of course what's going on underneath. And right now that's as close as you can get to that side of the White House. I mean, it is.
That's
it is
incredible. When were you there?
Wednesday.
Oh, nice. Nice.
And so it was fascinating walking around. They're doing so much, but the Treasury building, and I was there at 9 a.m. and on the other side is the only way you can get into the Treasury building if you work there. And the line going up the stairs to get in to work at the Treasury, they're stopping every single person, obviously every morning, to even go in to work. There was a long line. It was really slow to get in there. But there's the big scaffolding, and you cannot get close to that construction that they're doing. But they're doing they have things going. They have fencing everywhere, and in front of it says, we're making the DC safe and beautiful again. And I don't know how people can walk past that and still hate President Trump, but they're beautifying everything because they are
Mhm.
getting ready for the big celebration July 4th up there.
Absolutely. It's incredible. And when people see what our economy is going to look like when that money comes out, and our money will be backed by assets, probably gold or silver, or definitely asset backed, where they cannot print it out of thin air, because inflation is only the devaluation of our dollar, which isn't even a dollar, it's a debt note. Because when we first think about this, I like to simplify it like this. When we first had the central banking, the first dollar we borrowed, we owed $1.25 back. We literally started off in debt, and it was by design, because this enemy, the globalists, like to play the long game. So they knew eventually, because central banks, the systems will go about 42 to 50 years. Okay. We're at the end of it. So their goal was way, way, way back was to have central bank digital currencies. They were using COVID to say the money's dirty and you're going to get sick. That was part of it too, but it failed. So they wanted us to have CBDCs, which President Trump, by the way, already said absolutely not. We're not having that. And he did make a proclamation of that as well. It's in writing.
CBDC, central bank digital currency.
Digital currencies, correct. Total enslavement. So he already said that. But think about what this economy will look like, because what's coming is called a treasury note. And this treasury note, the US treasury note, it's going to actually earn interest. Think about that. The exact opposite. Instead of inflation, it's going to collect interest. So, and when you take away the Federal Reserve, you're going to get rid of the IRS, because the IRS is just the mafia arm of the Federal Reserve. They're to bully, intimidate, jail, make sure you pay, be terrified. So once those two things go away and you're not paying income tax, payroll tax, think about it. And then you're not going to have property taxes, because that's completely unconstitutional and illegal, right? Think about just that alone. How amazing our country will look like, how happy people will be, just that alone, not to mention a jubilee that we will see.
And to add to that, this is an example today. My husband and I were at lunch, and he was talking about going to get a fishing license. And I looked and I was like, that's just asinine. And
it is.
He just
it's
looked
ridiculous.
At me and I said, why should you have to have a license to go put a pole in the ocean?
So dumb. See what they've done?
And he said, well, because he's like, well, I'm thinking about just getting the lifetime one. And I said, how much is that? And he said, $500. And I'm like, that's asinine.
It is asinine. It is.
They've got the, people so programmed.
Absolutely right. And it's everything. It's don't even get me started on the DMV. Oh my God.
Right.
Here's your little ticket for $150 every single year. And here's a license. Why do I need a driver's license? I've been driving for 40 freaking years. Why do I need a driver's license to renew it every time?
And
I already did that.
And why do you have to have your car inspected? I had to get years ago when I had a brand new Jeep, I still had to go get it inspected. I'm like, why? It's brand new.
Because it's all money. They don't care. They hate us, and they want money any way they possibly can. But I think, ladies, in time, all of that will disappear. Because all they're doing is enriching themselves and money laundering to the politicians who are making these stupid rules. And it's going to take a minute, but that's all going away. It's not even, it's outrageous what they've done. Over time, slowly, another fee, another license, another tax.
Yeah, they're even your dog is supposed to have a license, a dog tag.
Oh yeah, good luck with that. I don't vaccinate my dog. He doesn't have a tag. It's none of your business.
Yeah,
exactly. I dare you. Go ahead. I dare you.
So I want to end on a bigger note, big picture, but I just have to ask you this small question, because I feel like I get very few times where I can sit down and ask Julie Donut questions. Do you remember back when it was not 9/11, when they were commemorating and honoring the folks that died that day, and it was the day, and Hillary Clinton was there, and she supposedly got heat, and she was taken into a van. What do you think happened that day?
She was thrown in that van like a side of beef. Her hands were behind her back. She literally, her hands were behind her back and she was thrown into that van. And let me tell you something. I don't go conspiratory about who's alive and who's dead because to me, it really doesn't matter because they're going to be. So if they're not, they
Right.
will be. But her particularly, I truly believe, and this is just my belief, that she has been gone for quite some time because that woman was not only just a horrible, corrupt politician, she was an actual card carrying witch. She truly was. And she was extremely evil. And what she did to children and with her Clinton Foundation, there is no way in my brain that I would think President Trump would be letting that monster walk this earth. So I believe she's gone. And I also believe Obama's gone. But that's just my opinion. I'm not trying to argue with anyone. They have committed such heinous crimes. I cannot believe that they would be still walking the earth. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, that video is one of my favorites. She was like thrown in there like a side of beef.
What about Big
my
Mike?
favorites too. But
Who?
What about Big Mike?
Oh, I think he's gone too. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
And also-
everything about Obama was a lie. Like even his whole background was made up by Brennan. His
Yes.
whole background was made up by the CIA. Brennan made up where he went to college. He was born at Peach Arch Hospital in Canada. He's not black. He's Indian and white. Every single thing about Obama is a lie. Everything. He doesn't have children. He's a treasonous traitor. And he's killed thousands of people with drones. He sold uranium-1 to Iran. He helped form ISIS. He helped all the LGBTQ. He was literally installed to help take down America. And you will see his arrest and you will see his tribunal. 1,000% sure. And this is on video. You heard it here.
Yeah. They're and you have this posted on your X. They keep bringing him up.
All the time because the public opinion needs to bring him back into the spotlight, right? Bring him back in. Let's see who this guy is. And he's still yakking and talking and being all smooth and charismatic. And he really is. But guess what? His crimes are atrocious. Having hot dog and pizza parties at the White House, which we all know
Yes.
code is for pedophilia and children.
Right.
When people find out what Barack Obama did to children alone, he will be strung up and should be. That man is so evil. And yeah, we're going to see his tribunal and hear all about his sedition, his seditious conspiracy, his treason, his crimes against humanity, crimes against children and this nation. And he will be executed.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. And when I was walking around DC, the grass area in front of the White House is Lafayette Square. That is completely fenced, and there's a perimeter around it. And I looked in, and it says they're beautifying it. I don't see them doing much on the surface. I know they're digging it, with that east wing and going underground. All the things that we heard about during, at least during the Obama administration, that they brought these kids up through there and had these parties and things. There's tunnels going all throughout Washington, D.C.
Yes, there
And
is.
there's tunnels underneath the Lincoln Memorial. You were never able to get down there. Now for our celebration, they're opening it up further for people to go in, and they're having a whole other place for people to look and to learn about the Lincoln Memorial.
The tunnels.
Yeah, but they're it's the section right underneath the Lincoln Memorial. They're having it so that people can go in and have things related to the Lincoln Memorial. But so they're taking over the tunnels and changing things and closing things off all through that city. So it's being taken over for good.
He's beautifying everything, and is that because they ignored it on purpose because they hate America and want it to fall.
Right.
They didn't put money into anything in DC. And President Trump is literally beautifying the nation. Everything that was ignored, he brought back our military, which Obama purposely didn't fund it, let it go, made it all woke to get rid of our biggest defense, which is our military, on purpose.
Right.
So President Trump's like, I don't think so. And he built it up his first term and he never left.
Right.
But So yeah. So
Yeah, I know you believe that this operation where President Trump is the face and he has the kahunas to take the slings and arrows from every walk of life there, and
mhm.
um it at least goes back as far as Kennedy, but even further in your mind, Julie.
Goes back to Nixon, I believe. I believe it formed then where they understood because they lied about Nixon too. Like they totally lied about him. And I believe they realized, you know what? They've been doing this a long time and we're going to lose this country if we don't do something. And I think that's when the plan began. And I think it just surfaced where we could even peek at it in 2015, obviously, when they asked President Trump to run. But I really do believe, Ellen, that President Trump was tapped for his whole life to do it. I do.
I agree.
Yeah,
do
I
too.
absolutely believed he was. I believe it was perfect timing that he all of a sudden had this show where he was public all over the world. This 14-year show, The Apprentice.
The Apprentice.
Personality, people falling in love with him, people respecting him, people seeing his power and his no nonsense. That was by design, in my opinion, because you saw a glimpse of him. You also saw his generosity. You also saw how Hollywood loved him, how everyone loved him. And I think that was all by design. And I think he was definitely knew he was going to be president and take on this role that he is playing. And it is not that he's not president, but it truly is a role as far as I'm going to be the face of this operation. And I love my country and I'm going to protect it and defend it. And he literally sacrificed absolutely everything that he knew to do it for us. And that's why I'm a staunch defender of what he is and what he's doing. And that's why I love him so much.
I couldn't agree more. And he was also in the belly of the beast. He
Oh,
had to
yeah.
work with the mafia in New York. He worked with
Yes.
the Epstein and all those different. And
Vegas.
so did JFK Jr.
Yep.
Mhm.
So he and JFK Jr. were such good friends, and they both knew the dirt on everyone.
Oh yes, he was invited to parties, so he knew the whole circle. He wasn't there, but he knew who these people were. He knew. And people forget this, by the way. Let me say this real quick. People forget that Epstein, Weinstein, and Ghislaine were all arrested under President Trump. So these people out here are saying he's on the Epstein list. I'm like, he's the one that had him arrested. And they've had these files for 20 years. So
Yeah.
if he was guilty, you don't think they would have used that Epstein list the second his toe touched the bottom of the escalator? He would have been out.
It's too much fluoride for him.
Oh, it is, girl. It really is. It's insanity. And by the way, there's at least 3 million more pages coming of the Epstein list. So by the way.
Wow, that is something. So we don't want to keep you here much later. I just want to end on your thoughts, on what you think the future holds on the ground, what is going to be happening, and how you think this is just going to be going this year, just 2026. If you think it's going to be an interesting year for us.
I think this is my opinion. Looking at the trajectory of everything, I truly think this is our year where at the very least, we will see the big arrests we want to see. It is my opinion. I do not like to say dates. I don't want to say it and then I'm wrong or people are disappointed because I believe this is the year of justice where the big things we want to see at the start of seeing a Hillary arrest, an Obama arrest. He might even be early next year. But Hillary is going this year. That's my guess. I'm guessing because that would be really what people would be like, wow, he's not playing. You're going to see Brennan arrested. He'll be arrested next. Brennan.
Well, now, Julie, that would be interesting because we all thought maybe that the Q Delta for Hillary was going to be last October. So
right, I think it's this.
We're kind of running out of October. So.
I think it's October 28th. What a beautiful day that would be. She'd be arrested on the first Q drop. Not saying it is, but that would be pretty cool, right? So the bottom line is this. I think we're going to see really great things with justice. I think we're going to see a lot more smaller arrests, like Brennan was definitely going to be arrested. I think Clapper the people that, the mids, let's call them, they're going to be arrested. But I think the ones we want to see are going to be at the end of the year or the beginning of next year, which will definitely give us like, wow, this is not politics as usual. This wasn't a 4-year election. He's not kidding. This is not hopium. And also when we go celebrate, first, when we pray May 17th and rededicate America to God, that's just, I believe, is just going to pump people up and be like, yes, God's in charge, and bring a lot more people to have that feeling of, oh my God, he really is in charge, and bringing them back and all that. That's going to be amazing. But when we go celebrate the 250th anniversary of America, I'm going, by the way. Are you guys going?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. I'll see you there. We're gonna have their Truth or Media tent, so that we got a tent. Everything's gonna be yay! So anyway, that's gonna be amazing. The atmosphere is gonna be off the chain. It's gonna be so exciting, and I think between May and June, there's lots coming financial. So I did a show with Casey Coyle last night about it, and I think a lot of things are, at the very least, going to be flipped. And I'm not saying overnight or anything like that, but I think there's dates, and I think those dates allude to that's really when things are going to take off. And the money is coming out in June. The $100 bill is coming out in June, and they're going to do denominations months after that, the 20, 10, 5, and 1s. So that alone is exciting, like just that alone, and the atmosphere and the patriotism and all the things and excitement. And it's going to be first class if Trump's doing it, because he always does everything first class. So the vibe is going to be off the chart after May, I think. And I think once we see that, some big arrest, people will be like, wow, it's really happening. And it's just going to take off from there. That's my opinion. That's why I'm so excited and positive, because I already see it. I just see it.
Me too. I'm excited too. I know Tricia is too. Well, I have to just say two things. First of all, we have thank you for the people who are watching on Rumble, and we have a lot of people on X right now. This is the Truth Teller Tales channel on Rumble. If you could head on over here and watch, actually, Julie's life story. I've done a lot of truthers' life stories, their journeys to where they are right now. It's a really wonderful stories to be able to share and to see. If you could come over to Rumble, Truth Teller Tales, and just follow along, that would be so awesome.
Yes, go follow Ellen. She's amazing.
Thank you. And the other thing is, you just said he's going to do it first class. I've said this before. My husband, he just supports me. He doesn't really know all of this stuff, but his brother is a normal guy, but he happens to work for the Park Service up there in Washington, D.C. They have had meetings about this event.
Oh, yes.
And they are preparing for it, a huge event. They are having meetings already that the fireworks on July 4th will be out on the water. It's going to be on 11 barges, and it's going to have fireworks shooting up 1,500 feet. And they were told they wanted to be so big that it is entered into the Guinness Book of World Records.
Right? That's how he does everything. I'm surprised there's not 17 barges.
I know. They probably
No, Ellen, he does everything first class and beautiful, and that's just who he is. He's classy. That's good to know that, because I'm sure it's going to be one heck of a celebration.
Yes.
So excited.
Is. I am too. Well, just to end on this, I just want you to get your thoughts on, again, this biblical journey we're on, because, if we can look at it that way and realize that each of us are truly, truly here for a reason, on purpose, and whether it's to just say hi to a neighbor because you're feeling good and they're not feeling good that day, to just lift up the people closest to you and just shine a light. I think that is what we're supposed to do right now, moving forward. Don't you, Julie?
Absolutely. You know what I would say to that as well? Even if you don't want to talk about Trump or politics, you know what you could say? I'm so excited for this year because such amazing things are coming. And just leave it at that.
Yes.
So you don't fight.
Yes.
And then you're still right.
Yes.
And have a donut.
And have a donut. Bring donuts. Who doesn't like them? Right. Thank you, Tricia. Bring some donuts. Did you see the NASA donuts? Did you see the NASA donuts?
No. What's the
Yeah,
donut?
I was like, Okay, was that a wink at me? Of course I'm gonna say that. Yeah,
You gotta
they did the shuttle.
wonder.
I was like, it was cute. Yeah, I had NASA
Oh,
donuts. I was like,
oh,
okay, why would there be NASA donuts?
That's
why
Yes, I'm
would
gonna
there
pretend
be?
it's about me. Okay, no, it was really cute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it is. It is. Well, we're all connected.
we
I
are
mean,
all
we
connected.
really
It's
are.
fun to talk about. It's just fun. I have a great time
It,
with it. So
it is. And, that's the other thing. Our stories are all connected because as I've been interviewing folks like you, I get so many people come to me and say, oh my gosh, that happened to me. Oh my gosh, that happened to me. And it shows that we're not alone, that we do, our stories do overlap, and we are all in this together, and we aren't supposed to be fighting with each other. We're supposed to be kind of on this journey together, moving each other upward and onward through this. And
there's
it's
greatness coming. Whew, I'm so excited for this year. Really, just
I
truly excited.
Well, we're so excited that you spent this time with
Yes.
us. It's
I'm
just been
honored to be here.
so
You know that.
Thank you
well,
so much.
Thank
it's
you.
been so wonderful. And you affirm everything that I think about and Tricia knows about. And it's an incredible journey. It's an incredible time to be alive. And
It is.
thank you for Julie. Thank you for you're the one on the digital soldier on X, because that is a boom,
Front
boom, boom
lines.
stuff going
I
on
wouldn't
over
be
there.
anywhere else. I would absolutely be. I don't know. I wouldn't know what else to do with myself. This is it. This is all that matters to me, and I will march on. And I just praise and thank God. And I'm just so happy that I can do what I do and have amazing people that even want me on their show. So I so
Oh,
appreciate
you're
it.
Absolutely.
such an inspiration, Julie. You really are.
You are.
I mean,
That's
You are.
very kind of you to
it's
say.
very, very. It was awesome to have you on.
Thank you
And we
so,
want to
so
do a
much for
part.
having me.
We want to do the update sometime as we're moving forward. Okay, part 2.
That's just for
Anytime.
trying to cut your banks.
I know. I'm like, are you cutting your hair?
Oh, sorry, part
Thank
2.
you for having me. And Tricia, it was my honor to meet you. And you guys are so beautiful, beautiful hearts and beautiful people. And guys, so much greatness is coming. So
Yeah, so
hang
much
in there,
greatness.
keep
God is
fighting.
good.
Fight, fight,
Keep fighting.
fight.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
sorry.
everyone for joining. We so appreciate everybody tuning in,
Yeah,
and
everybody in
check
the
out all the
chat. You
other
guys
work
are awesome.
and the chat and hair therapy and everybody there too. What an incredible family of patriots, and we're
Right?
moving mountains, everybody. Amen. What a
Yay.
time to be alive.
Amen.
So thank you, Julie.
Thank
Trisha,
you.
all right, talk to you later. Thanks
Bye,
everybody for
guys. Love
joining.
ya.
All right,
Thank
love
Love
you
you.
too.
Bye.
Bye.